This is ESBR Boxing. Delighted to be joined by Kurt Walker. Kurt, I was talking to you there, and you've just said you weren't even aware that this is your 8th different venue you're fighting at, and your 10th fight. But yeah, I'm sure you're glad to be back in Belfast.
Wasn't was here in December for Mix. I was assuming I wasn't a part of it actually, even though I'd only fought a week before it in Scotland. But seen that the show was here, so I got on the Jamie, and thankfully we got it over the line, and I'm delighted to be here.
And looking ahead, looking at your opponent, what do you expect from him on Saturday night? Are you expecting for to go the distance? Do you think you can get him out of there? What are your thoughts?
I think the best thing for me, it's only a 6-round fight, is to get the 6 rounds in, try not make any mistakes, no risks where I can get caught. I know he's a skillful fighter for a journeyman. He drew with Conor Quinn, so he's not a bad little fighter. I just need to do what I do and just get out of there and look towards the future for bigger fights.
I was at a podcast show, a live podcast show not so long ago, I don't know if you were there, and Paddy Barnes said that I asked the question, who's Belfast or Northern Ireland's next potential world champion? And I said who hadn't fought for a world title, so that was Mick excluded. Yeah. And he said you. Any your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Paddy knows. I batter Paddy all the time, so he knows. I'll see him tonight too, so I'll maybe give him an hour pasting.
And just kind of your year as a whole. This is your first fight of 2024, right at the beginning of the year. What's the plan for the year? As many fights as possible?
Yeah, it's more bigger fights than as many fights. The plan after this fight is to fight for a title in March, hopefully somewhere, so we'll see what the crack is with that. But yeah, I just need to get through this fight, not overlooking the opponent, but just get in, do what I do best and get out, uncut, anything else, no injuries, get back to training.
And what type of title are we talking here, or can you not tell us?
I'm not sure, honestly. I'd take anything, but it's just something to get me up the ladder a bit. So I want bigger fights in the summer. I want big fights in the summer and the end of the year. So I feel like I'm ready to go now. Maybe just a couple more fights and I'm alright.
Is the traditional route something that interests you?
Any route, mate. I'm not fussed. I wouldn't mind one. Wherever the big fights are. I know there's a lot of big fights in the UK for me at featherweight. So if I climb the ladder and do what I'm supposed to do, it should be good.
Obviously you're with Jamie and Condon Boxing, but just kind of your thoughts on being on a show like this, the magnitude of Matchroom.
It's class. They just do everything a bit bigger than what you would do any other way. It's very good. It's very enjoyable too to see the setup. Everything's down to a T, everything's planned out the way it should be. It's very good.
And is it on your mind that you put in an emphatic display here that they'll perhaps Eddie and Frank and the rest of Matchroom will want you on their shows going forward?
I don't know what way it works, hopefully, but I'll be happy enough to beat one of his fighters and take their spot. But that's what the aim is in the summertime.
And any particular names at all, or just
Hopey Price?
Hopey Price, Kurt Walker. So is that a fight then?
It's a fight I won't, but I know he's mandatory for the British. But whether Nathaniel takes the fight or not, whether he does, I don't know. But I'm going to be there as an option and try and take over their spots. So.
And just finally, you mentioned that you'd like to go the 6 rounds, but your kind of final thoughts on what fans can expect from Kurt Walker on Saturday night, who perhaps haven't tuned into you before?
Smart, slick, fast, and don't get hit as much as everyone else.
Brilliant, Kurt. Thanks very much for talking to us. Top man.
Good man, thanks.